Alright, so this is kind of a revisit to a game I've already done, Bart versus the Space Mutants, only this one is on the Sega Genesis, and I think everybody is familiar with the one on Nintendo. I didn't even know that this existed until I did some digging and research for the last video. It's the same plot. I'm not going to rehash everything here, but in this, Bart's still wearing his sunglasses at night, but here, instead of seeming terrified or surprised, he seems kind of happy about it. Hey! Huh? Hey! I really hope that they would utilize the extra button that they had at their disposal. It's basically the same game. I think it looks a lot better. That is the hugest thing here, is the graphics. Major improvement. Things look like they're supposed to. Here, you have to pause the game to switch to the items. But if you don't use the item within a couple seconds, it switches back to the X-ray specs by default. So you have to get used to some of that. Really, I was hoping that they would change some of the control scheme here, but the choices, I don't know. The control is still really slippery and everything. The buttons are kind of confusing of why they chose to do it the way they did. You would think we would at least get, oh, now we've got a separate button for run, but no, you still have to hold down the jump button after you jump to run. This actually looks like Mo this time. That's good. So it's still confusing as far as the control scheme. Here, this character is supposed to be Jimbo Jones, and just like in the NES version, this looks absolutely nothing like Jimbo Jones. It's just some stock kid character. So I don't know about all that. This is supposed to be Grandpa Simpson. Looks not really anything like Grandpa Simpson, just a generic head in a window. The boss at the end of this first stage is still Nelson Muntz. He's not wearing his denim jacket thing there, but you know. Another change is that where you fight Skinner in the mall 3 times, now it's just a random guy. The platforming is still awful. So this part right here, it took me so long in the NES to do it because you have to land on the rotating sticks. So I kept trying this and kept trying it, and the platforming is still awful. By accident, here I actually just kind of scooted across one of them and realized in this one you're supposed to just jump onto the actual candy things themselves. So why even have the spinning sticks? Why? It's just confusing. Makes no sense. The end boss here is still Lucille Botskowski, the babysitter bandit. The fights are all pretty much the same mechanics and everything wise. Here in the carnival level, I was actually able to pull off this secret jump thing that I was not able to pull off on the NES. But in my opinion, not worth the hassle. You get a couple coins and you get an invincibility thing here that also doesn't look like Jebediah's Springfield head. It's the same thing where you got to get balloons and stuff. What I do like is there is an animation here, as you can see. If you wait too long, Bart becomes impatient with you, kind of like Sonic in the I think it was Sonic 1, 2, whichever one it was. But it's a cool little thing. It's an added bonus. Sideshow Bob again is the end boss here, and you just jump on his feet and he still jumps around everywhere. So yeah, this is the same fight as well. It's all the same. This museum level is still by far the hardest because of the platforming here. Everything is slippery. I mean, the other stuff. Here, this part that was a beginner's trap in the other one is much easier because you can see where the actual blocks are. It's not whatever, but the jumping is still slippery. Or if you wait too long, it times out. You know, it's so you're still thinking. This jump is the worst part of this game. Both versions of it. In this one, sometimes I can make it on the thing, but I slip off the edge of it because it's slippery and I can't get enough thing to go. The dinosaur here actually looks like a Simpsons drawn dinosaur, so that's something else. The boss, I thought they'd change this boss, but apparently this is still supposed to be Dr. Marvin Monroe, even though it looks nothing like him. Not sure why they changed that. I couldn't tell you. But it still says it's him, so. Last stage, again, is the power plant. Here you'll see some better graphics again because the family members look better. Hey, Lisa comes out instead of just being a head inside of a radioactive waste bat. Although she still does sink back down in there, so I don't know about all that. Here's where the control scheme again. You're outside of a door. What do you press to get in? Up, right. Wrong. In this one, you have to press the B button to open the door. Then you have to press up to go in the door. Then you have to press down to come out of the door. I mean, it's a mess. I actually had to look up the instruction booklet for the Sega Genesis game from forever ago to do this. Here I remembered to watch out where Maggie was and remember that, even though it doesn't give you any indication of that in the first game, but I remembered it this time so I didn't have so much trouble. The family members talking about, in the first one, Marge, when she comes by you, she takes all the radioactive bars that you have down to the core. But you have to press up and B whenever she walks by you. Here, I'm pressing every button combination. I press start, I press this, I pause it, whatever, and I can't figure it out. I keep pressing every single button. Turns out, by accident, I just happen to notice that on this one, when she just walks by you, she takes them. But it gives you no indication of that, so you don't know. Finally, you're making your way through all this kind of jazz, in and out of the doors. You find Maggie. Remember in the other one, you take her down and she throws her pacifier into the thing. Here, she doesn't. It throws another radioactive rod, which makes more sense, but I still don't know why Maggie had a radioactive rod, where she got it from, what she's doing with it. Who knows? The end cutscene is pretty much the same, where the Simpson has defeated us and they're going to honor him in some way. So it's the same ending, but again, the graphics and everything, the colors, so much better. I mean, look at this. This actually looks, like it was drawn on The Simpsons, not some just pixelated garbage. So in summation, I think that this is the better version of this game. This is the version that I will play again if I play it again. I was able to get through this one much quicker, too. But I do think that they missed an opportunity to change the control scheme. They didn't change it at all. They actually made some of it even more confusing about why have an extra button when you're not going to make it do anything worthwhile. Again, a running jump in this game or a separate jump button and run button would make all the difference. Anyway, for a game that I didn't even know this existed, I think this is the superior version of it, and this is probably the one that I will replay in the future. If you guys played this one, let me know what you think, or if you knew that it existed. Anybody out there got memories of this one? Let me know.